Hello everyone and welcome to Mythstory, the show where we talk about myths from around the globe. For today's show, we'll be talking about one of the earliest mythologies known to man, Sumerian mythology. The Sumerian religion is one of the oldest religions we know of. It dates back to around 3000 BC and is the basis on which many modern religions are built. Sumerian mythology influenced all of Mesopotamian mythology, including the Babylonian, Akkadian, and Assyrian religions. But to look at Sumerian mythology alone, we have to look back far. So to help us, let's begin from the beginning. Creation. In the beginning, there was only Namu, the primordial sea. No heaven, no earth, just Namu. One day, Namu created Anki, the combination of heaven and earth. Anki literally translates to heaven-earth. They were one. Anki then created Enlil, the god of the air, and Enlil rips Anki apart, splitting Anki into two parts: the father heaven and the mother earth. An is forced into the sky, and Enlil pushes Ki down to form the earth. As per usual, Enlil and Ki have a child, Enki, god of water. Enki takes some water from Namu and fills the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, making the land hospitable for fish and animals. But soon thereafter, the gods are tired of doing all the work themselves. Enki, An, and Enlil devise a plan. They sacrifice one of the gods and mix his blood with clay. They spit into the mixture and use it to form the first people. When man had been created, the gods celebrated with a feast and much drinking. Enki and Ninmah, the birth goddess, both being very drunk, had a debate, and while Ninmah declared that it was she who decided how well each individual human would be formed, Enki countered that no matter what affliction she bestows on a person, he would be able to find a place for them in society. On hearing this, Ninmah took the clay and made a series of people with various ailments and disabilities, and each time Enki, true to his word, found a place for them. She made a man with shaking hands who became an attendant to the king. She made a blind man who became a storyteller. She made a man with twisted ankles who found a place with the metalworkers. She made a barren woman who was given the task to oversee the queen's weavers. She made a person with neither male nor female genitals, who became an aide to a king. Being outsmarted by Enki enraged Ninmah, who threw the clay down in defeat. Enki then reversed the challenge and created a premature baby who had shaky hands that prevented it from putting food in his mouth, a crushed spine, brittle hips, bad feet that meant he could not walk to the fields, and the unfortunate affliction of a closed-up anus. Enki then challenged Ninmah to find a place in society for his deformed creation, which she could not do, so she cursed Enki, realizing that if people were born like this too often, they would stop worshipping her. In a bid to ease the wrath of the birth goddess, he admitted to her that while he can create beings, without her, they would be incomplete. So from that day forward, Enki and Ninmah worked together on the form of each human, and on his or her place in society. The Deluge. With man being created, it seemed the gods could finally get some rest, but Enlil was furious with humans because they kept making too much noise. He told all the gods that he was going to flood the earth and destroy all the humans. But Enki would have none of this. He informed Ziusudra, the Sumerian counterpart of the biblical Noah, a pious, God-fearing, and humble king, of the dreadful decision of the gods and advised him to save himself by building a very large boat. Ziusudra built the boat, and both him and his wife took shelter. Enlil redirected all the waters from the Tigris and Euphrates and killed every single human except Ziusudra and his wife. All the windstorms, exceedingly powerful, attacked as one. The deluge raged over the surface of the earth. After, for 7 days and 7 nights, the deluge had raged in the land, and the huge boat had been tossed about on the great waters. Utu came forth, who sheds light on heaven and earth. So after the storm, they open a window, and they finally see Utu, the sun god. Ziusudra and his wife praise him and give him offerings. Enki eventually makes Ziusudra immortal, and him and his wife repopulate the earth. Enlil and Ninlil, the begetting of Nana. Ninlil, a goddess living in Nippur, was warned by her mother that if she bathes in the canal, Enlil will see her and want to make love to her. Naturally, Ninlil goes down to the canal the next day to take a dip. Enlil sees her and asks for a kiss. Ninlil refuses, saying that she is too young to make love. So Enlil devises a plan. He obtains a boat, floats over to where Ninlil is bathing, and rapes her, impregnating her with the future moon god Nana. The other gods, dismayed by Enlil's outrageous conduct, demand that the sex offender leave the town. Enlil walks out of town in the direction of the underworld, and the pregnant Ninlil follows him. Since Enlil does not want his son, the moon, to reside in the underworld, he devises a rather bizarre plan. Enlil impersonates a gatekeeper, a man in charge of the underworld river, and the ferryman to the underworld, and as each of these personas, he has sex with Ninlil, impregnating her with 3 deities who will reside in the underworld as substitutes for Nana the moon, who will thus be free to rise to the heavens where he belongs. Sumerian mythology is vast, filled with incredible stories such as Inanna in the Netherworld and the creation of Utu. The divine genealogy is complex, but all in all, these stories serve as a stepping stone in the evolution of modern religions. Thanks for watching this episode of Mythstory on Sumerian mythology. Make sure to like and subscribe and tell us what mythology you want us to cover next in the comments below. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, it's just as you assuming it's nothing but these humans who like to blame mythology for everything they're doing. They pray for non-existent gods to clean up the mess, but never take responsibility, just claim it's a test. See, that religion you've been given is shit and it's all poison. And it's partially the reason we bleed and it's all poison. Your worldview is poison, your outlook is poison. Denied all you want, but the truth is it's all poison.